I'm Dr. Tony with Chiropractic Associates of Bedford in Bedford, Texas, and my focus is on functional neurology. And it's a specialty in chiropractic. So it's also known as chiropractic neurology, and the new nomenclature is functional neurology. But anyway, I'm here to talk about my dad, give him a testimonial. The condition that my dad has been diagnosed with is vascular dementia. And taking my dad to see a medical neurologist, which I made friends with, by the way, multiple office visits, and it wore me out. It wore me out. I wasn't working at the time. This all began back in February of 2022. And I mean, tell you, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Well, at the time, my dad was living with my wife and I. And I noticed one Friday afternoon, my dad's conversation wasn't making any sense. He was saying things like, first of all, he didn't know who I was. He did not even know who I was. He thought I was his brother, Frank, my uncle Frank. He passed away over 10 years ago. Sometimes he thought that I was his cousin, Rokino. He kept mentioning he wanted to visit his aunt, who also passed away many years ago. So he thought he was living in Italy. And, that to me was so frustrating. How do you tell your father you're not in Italy, you're in the United States? You're living in Texas. What are you talking about? He always mentioned wanting to see his mother and father, and they passed away many, many years ago. And you're trying to tell him that they're not living anymore. And there were many times that I would lose my patience with him, getting so frustrated. I don't know what to do. He would repeat the same things over and over and over again. And he became very restless, very restless. And again, it just wore me out. You get tired of hearing the same thing over. And I was like, I'm losing my dad. What is going on here? It was like a awakening here. Like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? He'd wake up every morning at 2 a.m. He would change his clothes. He would say, I have to go home now. And I would tell him at 2 o'clock in the morning, where do you think you're going? I tell him, this is your home. You live here. He said, no, I have to go home now. And you're trying to argue with my dad at 2 o'clock in the morning is not easy. You're tired, you're frustrated, you had a long day, and it keeps going on over and over. So he could never sit still, always wanting to leave and say, I have to go home. And that was around 2:30, 7 o'clock every time at that time period. And what I learned, it was called sundowning. Many of you probably heard about this term. It's used when dementia patients or dementia people or Alzheimer's, they experience these type of symptoms throughout the day. So a couple of times he wandered off. And luckily, my wife and I found him. We had to put safety locks on all the doors for him not to walk out and wander off. So after a couple of weeks, I decided to look for ways to help him to get his memory back. I had to really scramble and dig deeper and find ways to get his memory back because I was really losing him. It's like he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who my wife is, doesn't know none of us, basically. So the first thing I did is I changed his diet, thinking, well, I'll change him to a ketogenic diet. So I did that. I tried so many supplements that were designed for the brain to improve the memory. So after all that, the supplements didn't quite seem to make a difference. It helped, but it wasn't the same as the patches. The patches are way more. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go into that in a minute here. Way more remarkable improvements that I've seen with that. So back in around June of 2023, I came across Glenda and Don, who introduced me to the Life Wave patches. So I told myself, well, they told me everything, all the information. And so I told myself back then, I said, what do I got to lose? Let me give this a try. So that's when I started using the patches on my dad. Within a few weeks, I noticed, again, remarkable improvements that I've never seen. I said, I wish I would have had this back in 2022. He recognized me and he called me by my name. That's a huge improvement to me. Just within a few weeks, He knew who I was. And every time I would come home from work, he would say, "Hey, Tony's home. Tony's home." I said, "Wow, look at that." I told my mom, "Look at that." She noticed too. He was more coherent. He had more understanding. He is definitely more calmer now than he ever was. His conversation started to make a little more sense. I had to be careful because he would pick up on things on conversations. I said, "Uh-oh, he's learning. He's picking it up." So I had to be a little more careful. He's beginning to go back to his ways again. It's like, "Oh, this is good. This is
Could
looking really
easily
good
be.
here." He's listening to me more. He doesn't wander off anymore. No more locks on the doors anymore. He isn't constantly saying, "I have to go home." He started singing church songs, which that blew me away. So he remembers church songs. He never done that before. And he sleeps well. He does not wake up anymore at 2 a.m. in the morning. So from seeing all this improvement, I am consistently putting these patches on him every day. The X39, the X49, carnosine, glutathione, and the Eon. And I thought, okay, this is working. Remarkable. I can't stop. This is, and I'm about to try it myself as well. So that is my testimonial for my dad. And again, I wish I would have known back in 2022 because I was going through a pure nightmare. You wouldn't believe. So frustrating, tired, exhausted. But now, wow, what a relief. I'm so happy. It is a relief. And again, it blew me away. So
we all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often, with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering its amazing life-enhancing technology to people across the world, always helping the body do what it was designed to do, only better. And as it turns out, the best was yet to come. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells. A true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part? Like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body, how you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39.